Wanted Man Training got started because I had 3 mates who had their wives leave them in the space of a month. And when I chatted to them about, what happened, they would list out all these things she said and then say, but I don't know why she left me. And to someone else, you can hear it, and you can hear why she left it. And it made me sort of think, I'm not okay with just sitting around acting like nothing happened here. This is my mate, and this is a guy I care about, and this was preventable. But the thing is, most of us, we don't learn the skills we need to make a long-term relationship work until we get some sort of on-the-job training. And I mean, I trained for 4 years to be a primary school teacher, and yet how much training do you have to make a long-term relationship work? I just saw a need there, and I thought, what if before I got married, I'd gone on some sort of training course for men to understand what their partners want? What if I'd been able to do that? It would have made my life so much easier. Would have made my wife's life so much easier. So that was what was behind the starting of Wanted Man Training. The really inspiring stories, the stories that really define what Wanted Man Training is about, are stories I can't really share with a camera. Another really inspiring thing lately was there was a young guy on one of the events. I mean, he was barely 18, I'd say, and he said to me that the biggest thing for him is now he doesn't have to make the mistakes that he's watched his dad make, and his dad was probably just an average husband, but his dad had no training, his dad had no skills. Wanted Man Training works because it's all blokes. And it's a space where guys can be real. You don't have to be fake at Wanted Man Training. You can just be yourself. So there's heaps of food, way more food than you could ever need, heaps of fun, heaps of games, and there's no hugging, there's no crying, there's no weird stuff. You know what I mean? There's no butcher's paper. The things that drive us mental when we go on courses for work, they're not there. People will say, well, why should I send my guy? Well, more to it, I sort of think, well, why wouldn't you? If you had the chance to send your guy to an event that he's going to get skilled up in what you need, he's going to learn what you've been trying to say to him for years about conversation, the whole we never talk thing. He goes, what do you mean we never talk? We're talking now, It's because no one trained him in what you actually mean by talk. No one trained him in what you're looking for in conversation. What's going to happen is he's just going to go, he's going to have a great day, he's going to hang out with good blokes, and he's going to learn some skills. And what sort of guy doesn't want to get skilled up? A lot of girls fear that, if I'm going to ask my guy to go to this event, he's going to hear you're not good enough and he's not going to want to go. But that's not what this is. Wanted Man Training, it's not counselling, it's not fixing things, it's just training. That sometimes you see a guy and every guy in the room is there just absorbing stuff. And you can see he's just closed off in an area. And I'm okay with that because, we've all got areas that we don't want to open up. And yet there are times when I can see that a guy's shown up with, a chink in his armour that's really big, that's probably going to kill his relationship. There's just some minor adjustments to make it easy. You can do that. What happens at events? Well, pretty much what happens at events stays at events. In terms of people's names, in terms of specifics of what someone says, that stays there. And when we look at what it is that makes a long-term relationship work and what it is that doesn't make a long-term relationship work. Because the stuff that works is not what you learn from TV. And this person's saying that he hasn't told his wife that he loves her for a month. How's that play off? What's he thinking behind that? What's she thinking when that happens? And what's the impact on them? What's the impact in the areas of communication, in sex? What's the impact in terms of basically how she's feeling about what's going on in that situation? So a lot of look at the scenarios. We eat a lot. We play some games, do stuff like that. It's very interactive. It's not just some guy standing there talking at you. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to go to something like that. It's good fun. Well, every event's different, because you get a different group of guys. And so, say at the most recent event, I had I had most of the guys were between 18 and 25. So it was a very different sort of content to what we'd have in another event that I had. The one before was guys who were mostly, the average age of those guys would have been about 30 or 33. There's been a number of guys who've told me that since they've done the course that life is just easier. Instead of having a 1 hour discussion about something, they can resolve their stuff in 10 or 15 minutes. And the reason for that is he can hear what she's saying. And not just hear her words, but hear where she's coming from, because they're able to connect what they're hearing with what they've learnt at Woman Man Training and go, oh, her words are this, but what she's really saying is this is missing. The whole sort of thing where the cycles that couples go around in of, he's not being affectionate enough. Well, who trained him in what you want from him? He wasn't born with this knowledge, and he's not a girl. I've never in my life had the opportunity to make such a massive difference in people's lives as I now have at Woman Man Training, and there's no one who I wouldn't recommend this for.